13 minutes to 6. Phillipton heading home on a Thursday night. How much do you pay for your car insurance? It's only a question I ask because today's the last day insurance companies will be allowed to adjust the price of premiums based on the sex of a driver. Up till now, of course, if you've been a woman, then a very good chance that you'd get a better rate than, say, if you were a boy in your early 20s, for example. New EU legislation says that it means some women could see their car insurance rise by as much as 25%. Nikki Sinclaire is the West Midlands member of the European Parliament from the We Demand a Referendum party. Nikki Sinclaire, very good evening to you.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire tonight. Why exactly do you object to this?
Well, it's social engineering from the European Union that's gone wrong, really. The European Union like to promote gender equality, but this has kind of slightly backfired on them. And what this is actually going to do is become such a detriment to gender equality too, because I've had many letters from constituents saying, how are they going to juggle their children and their work-life balance, because they're simply not going to be able to afford to keep their vehicle on the road.
Forgive me, why is this damaging to gender equality? This makes all genders equal, doesn't it? That's exactly what gender equality is all about.
Yeah, well, gender equality is important, and, equality of opportunity, the right to vote, etc., is obviously very important. But, there are differences between the sexes. Usain Bolt and Jessica Ennis can't run as fast as one another. There are differences, and statistically, women are safer drivers than men. And, older people are safer drivers than young people. And where this is actually going to go with the European Union, and it will go there, is that you're going to insure a 60-year-old the same as you would do a 17-year-old. And that just has to be wrong. The insurance company is a private sector industry that has insured on risk management, and if you have no claims for a number of years, you get a cheaper car insurance. But it's based on statistics. It's a bit like your house insurance. If you live in a high crime area, your house insurance will be far more than if you live in a low crime area. It's common sense, risk-based management.
Sadly,
and
though,
the European Union.
Sorry, forgive me. Sadly, though, Nikki Sinclaire, you are in a bit of a minority here. Realistically, yours is a sole voice on this, isn't it?
Well, I think people would say, oh, it's all well and good, yes, that's good, we should all be equal. And, yes, we should be equal. But the fact is, actually, this is going to cost the average family far more money, because obviously the female in the family insurance will go up. That means it's going to cost the average family more money to insure their vehicles. My
point being that as a sole voice, you don't really carry much weight. You're a former member of UKIP. You now have your We Demand the Referendum party that actually, as a lone voice on this, you're not really going to carry much weight, and people really aren't going to be listening, are they?
Well, this has already made a decision of the European Court of Justice, and I've been arguing against it in the Women's Committee, and as have other people, and obviously the European Union don't care, which is why I think that we should have a referendum on the European Union. It's for the people to decide, and here's just another example of the EU impinging on our daily lives, costing the average family more money, and that's why I'm campaigning for having a referendum, because we should make up our mind whether we want the EU to make our own laws, or do we want our government in Westminster to decide these things for us.
Nikki Sinclaire from the We Demand a Referendum party, West Midlands MEP.